What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pulse as we talk about Remember the Fallen, our show on April 4th, 2024. But of course, I'm not here to talk about it all by myself. We've got our usual cast of characters here that are going to be joining us. First of all, he's my boss, he's your boss, he's everybody's boss. Make sure you buy his merch. The Bossolini, Carter Diamond.
What it do? What it do?
All righty. And he loves to give his opinion. He loves to give a lot of opinions, but his opinions are usually worth listening to. So please welcome him to the show, John.
You know what? You should also say buy the T-shirt that they made for our fallen brother, Young Gun too. So
Yes.
remember to do that.
Speaking of that, I just received mine today that I will be wearing on the show. Remember the Fallen. It's
That
a very
came in
nice
pretty.
looking shirt. It's very well done. You look under WGP and Redbubble.
That came in pretty quick.
Yes, it did. But it's WGP Shooter Memorial T-shirt. All proceeds go to Young Gun Steve Faison and his family during this tragic time. But we have one more person joining us here. He's starting to become a regular here. The host of the Dr. Quack House Calls, Dr. Quack.
Hey!
All righty. So let's start right off here with this one first. I want to hear what you guys think about this one. We had somebody join Heart and Soul Promotion. It was supposed to make their debut, but they failed their physical. So they will not be at this show. And that is El Wapo, who was supposed to take on Mama Purge. So, first of all, what are your thoughts on El Wapo not clearing his physical, his post-contract physical? John?
He must have gotten into that secret garden that AEP has, and he needs to, I guess, pay attention to next time before getting ready for a match.
We can't say it was not an overdose of Fukido. We can guarantee that it was not that. Boss, your thoughts on El Wapo failing his physical?
Well, El Whopper fell in his physical. I mean, I don't know what to say. I know he comes from PPA Purge. You should give your people a heads up on what they should expect coming over here. And if you're not doing that, I'm gonna have to go back.
Fair enough. We're going to find out in a couple of weeks more about that situation. But all we know right now is he was not cleared to compete. And before we get to Dr. Quack, please welcome to the show, Draven666.
I do have one more point though.
Sure.
On that, with at least on the Mama Purge side, that's pretty much one of those that she just, to me, it's like she dodged a bullet. She doesn't have to show up and do a match at the moment, especially after what happened on the last show, technically losing to somebody who said, "Hey, I'm not really gonna give a promo," and still the coin fell in the favor. So she could breathe a sigh of relief, gather herself, and then continue to move forward after that.
All right. So, Dr. Quack, what's your thoughts on this one and what John said about Mama Purge?
I mean, I would love to say I'm shocked that he failed a physical examination. Is that what he failed, the physical, or he failed the drug test, or what he failed?
No, it was a physical examination, and we haven't gotten word, but the physician that does this is usually somebody who deals with mental health.
Wow, that is a little bit of a shocker, but yeah, I mean, it's something he's going to have to rebound from, get his bearings together, and hope to God he can come back and compete in HSP.
All right. Do you think John was correct that Mama Purge dodged a bullet against El Wapo? I know you've seen him in many other places.
Yeah, and I believe they have fought each other in many other places. I believe it's about even. I would think that she knows about him, but she might have dodged the bullet on this one. She gets a little more downtime. She gets prepared for the next match, so that helps her.
All right, and Draven666, your thoughts on this developing situation?
Sorry, I was logging in from the start of it.
So El Guapo failed his post-contract physical and will have to be medically cleared before he's allowed to compete. So this show, he will not be competing against Mama Purge.
As it's been said, she probably has now got a bit more time to regather herself after the last match, so it might work in her favor, or it might not, because she might lose some steam because of the break. Different people handle breaks different ways.
It's true. It's true. So this first match, I want to talk about. This guy here on his repackaged debut turned a lot of heads. There were a lot of people that were surprised at how well he did. John was one of the big people that said he did not do very well, but a lot of the comments were like, wow, this was different. This was interesting. We liked it. And that is Jacob Black. And he is taking on Damian Cross. These two guys know each other from other places in the promo world. So, boss, your thoughts on this one first.
Personally, I'm not gonna lie. I think this match is gonna be interesting because two guys are still trying to figure out what they want to do with their career.
Okay. So, Dr. Quack, what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I like the repackaging of Jacob Black. I think that is a great thing. Also, if you've watched Damian Cross lately, he didn't just back down from this, didn't drop a height. He didn't scream a lot in his promos. That was something that really got me. I think that, this older Golf Digest look that he's pulling off here, it might actually come into his favor. He might be able to harness in his anger and maybe force it on to Jacob Black there.
All right. Draven, what's your thoughts?
I have not seen much of both of them, to be honest. I can't really give a balance view just because I've not seen both of them in action all that much. I might have seen them once or twice, but nothing sticks out.
All right. And John, you are one of the biggest verbal detractors against the new repackaging of Jacob Black. You felt it was underwhelming. I think you had some other superlatives. What's your thoughts on this match and the repackage?
I'm okay with the repackage. I like the way he came out on the screen the first time and pretty much interrupted me, Young Gun, and you, whoever else was on the Pulse that night. Like, cool. You showed fire, but that fire showing up on screen outside right next to a road. So pretty much, I remember looking at the comments. It was saying pretty much counting the cars or what was the car that was going by. Pretty much, I also made the comment. Like I couldn't tell if he was wearing shorts or he was wearing a dress. Like if you have your audience not paying attention to the words that are coming out of your mouth, are you really doing a good job? Now, for this match, both competitors know each other all so well. I have had my issues with Damian Cross in the past. I ripped him a new asshole, and then he became who he is today. And I've actually been impressed with how he has transitioned himself, especially now coming back. Just watching his hypes the last couple days, it surprises me because I wasn't expecting that. I think this whole new side might catch Jacob X on a whole other side, and I don't know if Jacob X can do it because if Jacob X doesn't bring that fire that he had on that Pulse that one night, I actually will say it's going to be a clean sweep for Damian Cross.
All righty. That's kind of an interesting. I mean, what you said is valid. He used something that is kind of taboo in the promo world of outside, where you don't have control of sounds and things that are happening behind you. But is that the only thing you were against, that and what he's wearing, or were you against how he chose to compete, the words he said?
Again, to me, it was the whole aspect of everything that he did subtracted from wanting to even listen to what his words were. You like, for me, I want the story. I don't care about like what's around you. Like for and this is pretty much taboo to taboo. This is pretty much something that I've done in the past. It's like I've always changed everything to make everything look cool. That's why, like, when Vagabond was always like, he does his stuff at the end, he's one of those competitors. He doesn't need that fancy stuff, that like editing skills. Just let his words do everything for him, because I think that's what he does great. Jacob X, or Jacob Black, whatever his name is, pretty much the issue with him is I didn't want, like, I wasn't interested in listening to the words. I was more interested in what the heck was going on in the background.
All
So
right.
But I'll tell you,
Go ahead. Finish your thought. I'm sorry. Finish your thought. Oh, he said he finished his thought. So, boss, Dr. Quack, do you guys agree with the analysis from John about this?
I'll tell you here. This is my thoughts, because I've seen Jacob Black compete in other places, including places like VPW, where he puts out full forth effort there. He does. He comes out really strong. I think that he is a guy that does not like to look weak in his promos. He's going to come out probably with a good vengeance here. It'll be interesting to see if Damian Cross can actually calm it down and make his words, flow very well. That's going to be the big factor for him. But yeah, I think it's at least a 2-1. I'm going Jacob Black.
All right, boss, do you agree?
Well, if you look at it, I agree with John with the fact that the whole outside aspect should have destroyed Jacob Black, because I was trying to figure out what car it was in the background. Was it a Nova or a Pinto? Instead of focusing on his max. And it's because when you choose those scenarios, you got to make sure that the distractions doesn't overpower your promo. So you got to find a way to keep the attention on you. And if you can find a way to keep that attention on him, he'll beat Damian Cross.
All righty. And before we go to Draven and ask his thought, please welcome to the show, Shady Sean McKenzie.
Hey.
All right, so Draven, we've talked about it a little bit, but Damian Cross and Jacob Black, who do you think wins this one?
From the hypes and stuff that I've seen and what everybody said, I think it just depends on who does what on the night. If you can keep the focus on him, then I think X stands a chance.
All right, and Shady, we've been talking Jacob Black versus Damian Cross. Your thoughts?
Hey, we got to say something here. Happy birthday, Shady.
Thank you.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, big 45. I
you don't
I
look like
like
a day over
the
31.
I like it. I like the new direction Jacob Black is going. I think he's enjoying the new direction he's going. I think he there's some truth in what he's saying. He does feel a little disrespected. He came into a bunch of places and he tried to play the nice guy, man, and he tried to get along, and it just didn't work out in his favor to that perspective. So he's giving it back as well as it was dished out to him a little bit. As far as his verbiage is concerned in the promo, I use green screen, so I'm not going to attack somebody's backdrop, but I do pay attention to it, so I do understand everybody's comments. But yeah, as most people that make those same comments will tell you, just to block all that stuff out and listen to the words coming out of their mouth. I've heard that in the past, so it's kind of a double negative to me. But that is what it is. I do feel like Jacob Black used way too many curse words in inappropriate areas. I think he was a little bit too in his emotions. You've got to learn how to reel that back a little bit, control that, and use it appropriately, and not just 10 times throughout the promo aggressively, because that's what most people are going to hear, and that's what they're going to remember. They're not going to think about anything else except for the cars in the background at that point.
Well, speaking of that, well, Shady, we'll start with you on this one, talking about somebody who's been criticized for cussing too much. Sergeant Havoc against Shady Sean McKenzie, the other number one contender qualifier. So instead of asking you who you think is going to win, because you're going to say yourself, give us a little insight on what you think of this match in general. What you think of Sergeant Havoc as a competitor?
I respect Sergeant Havoc as a competitor. Over the past year, he has definitely grown in stature and status. He has honed and developed his craft a lot better than whenever I first seen him. So he's definitely a tougher competitor today than he was a year ago. That's something to be aware of and to watch out for. There's a lot of emotions in the EFED world currently. Just a lot of tragic things have happened. We recently lost the young gun. Rest in peace. So many people have been lost in this game. Most of us wear our emotions on our sleeves and put that into our work. That's something that is going to happen to Sergeant Havoc this week, and I feel for him. I pray for him because he's getting every ounce of stuff that he shouldn't probably get, that he doesn't deserve. But he's my opponent this week, and that's what's going to happen, because last week I was robbed unjustifiably of the matchup of the year, going up against the young gun by some piece of shit, pathetic son of a bitch, and I hope and pray that he gets caught and found, and doesn't have to deal with some military courtroom, that deals with biasness, and you know what I mean. And that may not be the justice that a lot of people agree with, but hey, that's what I say. Yeah, I'm coming for blood this week, Havoc, Sergeant. Better watch out.
And I will say, I hope I agree with Shady sentiment. I hope they do catch the person that caused the horrific car accident. But I'd like to move on now to the boss, Bossolini. Sergeant Havoc versus Shady Sean McKenzie. Your thoughts on this match?
This is one of those weird ones. Me and Shady aren't the best of friends. Happy birthday, Shady.
But I love you.
And I really would like to see Sergeant Havoc step up and show what he's really able to be made of. Because I know what he's capable of doing. Nothing against you, Shady, because
definitely
you're dangerous. But Sergeant Havoc has the ability to show up and show out. If you get out of his own head, believe in yourself, but don't make yourself your number one fan. If he could get to that point, he's gonna give you a run for your money. But if not, Shady gonna walk away with his hands down.
All righty. And Draven, what's your thoughts on this one? Shady Sean McKenzie and Sergeant Havoc.
If Sergeant comes full tilt, it'll be a very, very close match. If he does what he can be known to do, get in his own head and not get out of his own way, Shady's gonna steam through him without even thinking about it.
All right. John, your thoughts on this one?
So I give a lot of credit to Sergeant Havoc. He has grown a lot since the first time I seen him on screen to up till this point. Problem is, he's not going against some mid-card person. He's going against somebody who has been to the top of the mountain here, not only here in the HSP, but also in other promo lands as well. So he's gonna have a lot of work cut out for him, because I know Shady, he does what he does. He's gonna always give 100% effort. Like, I still want to be able to go back and go against Shady again, and we'll see who actually could come out with the win this time.
This time without a rap battle involved, right?
Yeah, please. I hate those things.
Well,
But at the end of the day,
it was an experiment that it didn't go so well, but at least it was interesting.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I look at it this way. I like what Shady does. I like what Sergeant Havoc's doing, but I have to pretty much put my chips onto the man who tries to use the villain moniker, even though he doesn't know how to spell it right.
All right, Dr. Quack, this one's a little different for you. When you were here at Heart and Soul Promotion, you were actually the tiebreaker vote that voted in Sergeant Havoc. And he's held the title. He's
Yes.
holding the title now that you used to hold there in the VOH. So I want your opinion on the growth of Sergeant Havoc. And do you think he's grown enough to take on somebody like Shady Sean McKenzie?
Well, what I will say, I mean, yes, he still holds that Spitfire championship. He ended up losing his Revolution title here last week. And me being a man who pays attention throughout this promo world, he got into a fiery hype, literally fiery. Got changed his name from Sergeant Havoc to just plain Havoc. And he looked very, very angry on this episode there, his hype. And this is what's going to be interesting. Like I talk about harnessing that anger. Will he be able to contemplate and put the words to the screen without, going off track and or possibly blowing up? I think he possibly can. I mean, he's got that military mindset. He knows how to handle that part. Shady as well. This should be a good fight. I'm going to go Shady 2-1 on this. This is going to be close, but I think Shady's got a little more experience, and I think that's going to play a factor. But when you lose a championship, that is when your anger really comes out on that next opponent.
That's true. That's true. So you had something to say, Rick?
Yeah, but anger can sometimes be the downfall of somebody. So if he uses it wrong, that could fuck him up even more than his usual game plan. So, which is why I said if he gets in his own head, i.e. because he's lost it XYZ, Shady is going to run through him like nobody's business.
All right. And Draven, we're going to start with you on this one. I want to talk about your tag team partner, Prince Blackheart, the first #1 contender qualifier, having himself a little match, keeping himself in shape against the Bronx Bomber. What's your thoughts?
We've been speaking about this match, obviously, because we talk quite frequently, and we both know how dangerous Bomber can be. We both know he's not going to be easy. We both know he's probably going to cause him problems. And potentially quite significant problems. But I think he's now starting to find a bit of a stride. So I don't think it's going to be as wide of a gap between the two of what we think. I still think Bomber's probably going to win. But I think it might be on like a tiebreaker or like a 2-1. I don't think it's going to be anything massive or anything crazy.
All righty. And Dr. Quack, Prince Blackheart and the Bronx Bomber.
This one I'll definitely. Yeah, I'll go with Bronx Bomber on this. I mean, like I've said this too many times, Prince Blackheart has got to fire up. He has really got to fire up. He's got to come out there. He's got to spit fire, be a little angry, not go methodical. Because I guarantee you, Bronx Bomber is going to do that. and he's probably going to sweep this match. I'd be shocked if it's a 2-1. If he doesn't come out there, Blackheart, come out and fire up, it's going to be a slaughter.
All right. Boss, you got a message there for us? Or what's your thoughts? Prince Blackheart and the Bronx Bomber. Oh, okay, yeah. Boss, 2 belts.
Prince Blackheart or the Bronx Bomber. As much as I want to see Prince Blackheart just rage out, we know it's not gonna happen. You know, it's like me doing what I'm about to do right now. You know, fuck you, Shady. Fuck you, John. Fuck you, Draven. And all these are from a motherfucking one man, Young Gun. But fuck y'all. But see, even with that, it's something that you don't expect to come from the boss. You don't expect the boss to tell everybody to fuck off. You expect the boss to be cool, calm, and collected and deliver a message. And that's the same thing that we expect to come from Prince Blackheart. So if Prince Blackheart does what everybody expects him to do, the Bronx Bomber got an easy win.
All right, John.
If I'm gonna have to agree with what Quack said and with what Ed said. If Blackheart comes out and does the same old Blackheart promo that he does day in and day out, he's not going to win this match. You have a man in Bronx Bomber who is probably fuming to the fact that he lost to Sergeant Havoc last week. So what type of I want to know, and I want to be the fly on the wall to see what he's going to do next. Because if I just also went against Sergeant Havoc outside of here, and I understand that defeat, going into another person's territory and being able to being able to deal with all that. But at the end of the day, it's one of those that what are you going to get from Bronx Bomber? Because this is now his second match, and then what are you going to get from Mr. Slow It Down, as Quack says, methodical? I say the pretty much the one who has the most sleepiness of all of us when it comes to putting people to sleep in a
Joe Biden
promo. So at the end of the day, I'm going Bronx Bomber because I just think the fire and passion that that I believe he's going to bring is just going to overwhelm the methodic.
All right.
Methodicalness.
Yes, what Shady said.
So, Shady, your thoughts on this one as well? Because you gave the big boom. Like, you think the Bombers got this one easy.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's easy. I know that Blackheart's coming off a big loss here recently, so there's going to be a lot of emotion there. One thing that comes from loss in this game and in this business is the revitalization of competitive spirit in some individuals, and I think that's what the Bronx Bomber has right now. And I think I have to agree with what everybody else has said. If Blackheart comes out here with that, Joe Biden syndrome promo, it's not going to go well. You know what I'm saying? Because we are selling a show to the audience. No matter what realism amount is there, you're still selling an entertainment factor to the judges, to the fans. And if you're not putting that into it, and you're putting people to sleep in 4 minutes instead of hyping them up, then it's not going to get you a victory. It may work in some places, but not here in Heart and Soul. Recently, there's a new breed of competitiveness here, and
That's true.
I think it's in a lot of people. So,
all right. So I guess this is Johnny Blade saying Blackheart needs to bring what he did against me, and he wins. Which is what he did. He
Yeah.
brought fire, and he does that from time to time. But I want to ask this. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, he needs to do that every time. You know what I mean? Like you can't slip in this game. You know, you slip and someone's taking your spot.
That's true. So I want to ask this first to Dr. Quack, and then we'll go around the room here. I want to ask the other side of this. Bronx Bomber, this will be his second match here. Many people who performed here, to include those that are on the screen that have competed here, trying to figure out our judges is a little bit different. Do you think maybe that second match, with Bronx not winning against Sergeant Havoc, maybe he'll try and chase the judges and actually talk himself out of a win? Dr. Quack, your thoughts?
It's possible. I think he's smarter than that. He's been doing this long enough where he's realized that it's not really mattering about the judges. It matters more towards, cutting the good promo. I think that he doesn't really have much of a problem with that. I'm sure he read the notes from his last match, but to me, it's like a seminar when you read the judges' notes. It's like you take about 10% of it and the rest of it you throw away.
All right. And Draven, you're the most recent person here, new person here. You've seen how the judges give their messages to you. They give their notes, their comments, their feedback. Same question. Do you think that Bomber might have a little struggle trying to figure out what the judges want, or do you think Dr. Quack's right and he's just going to do his thing? Draven?
Yeah, he has to do his thing, but he also has to take into account partially what they've said, because clearly they have little indicators in there of what they're actually looking for, because each judging team in the promo universe looks for something different or somebody different. So to me, you have to sort of consider some of it, but also not to the point that it affects your character.
All righty. Boss, what's your thoughts on this one?
Shit. You want me to think?
Well, no, we just want boss to be boss and do boss things.
Now, what were we talking about again?
The question I proposed is Bronx Bomber. You guys are all saying Bronx Bomber's going to win, but my question was that since this is his second match here, do you think he's going to try and chase the judges to get the judges what they want? Because we have a very different judging style here. Or do you think Bomber's going to come out and be Bomber and the judges will get it or they won't?
Well, someone like Bronx Bomber, I think he's going to do what he's accustomed to doing. So he's going to go and he's going to do it like he wants to, and we're just going to have to hope. He's just going to have to hope the judges get him. That's how I see it.
All right, John, same question, because I specifically want to know from you, because when you were first here, we held lots of discussions where you had troubles understanding the judges' comments when you were here. You've now, since you understand them much better, so that you have kind of a more unique perspective on this. So your thoughts?
So as you said, when I first got here, it was rough, because it was like trying to be able to build a character, and then you have the concept already at that time, and you feel like you're doing a good job of it, and then they're telling you you're doing a good job, but that's not what they want to see. They want to see something different, and then you're just like, well, but that's not what I'm trying to do. You're telling me I'm doing a good job of what I'm doing, and I'm not getting rewarded for it. I don't think that's going to be an issue for Bronx Bomber. I think his issue is going to be just continuing to bring the fire, the intensity that he brought through his hypes. That was one thing that, like, if I had to sit there and critique a little bit based off of his last match, was he didn't really have that fire and intensity that made me feel like he was going to boot camp, because his whole thing building up to it was talking about going to a boot camp and pretty much getting tough and being gritty, and I just didn't see it at that point. I think this time we're gonna get something totally different, and that he's gonna learn from what he failed to do last time.
Alrighty, and Shady, one of the most experienced guys here. You've worked all over the promo game, and you're involved with social media entertainment, so you see a lot of other things, even places you haven't competed. What's your thoughts on this one?
You got to know who you are and stay true to who you are. I think anytime you go after the judges in your promo, it's a mistake. They're not the target. Their judgments are the target, but not them in the promo. You know, your opponent is. So anytime you deter to start talking about, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, I just feel you're in the wrong. Every place is different. You know, everybody does look for something different. I went through the same thing here in Heart and Soul. You know, lost my first match. Um, there's there's like wrestling style promos, and then there's non-wrestling style promos. You know, there's the 20 by 20 that exists, you know, in some promo lands, and you know, whether it's realistic based or not. And then, you know, in Heart and Soul, it's not. You know, you can't say that you're going to hit somebody, because unless you're really going to hit them, you know, the judges are like, whatever. You know what I mean? They're going to frown upon that kind of stuff. So there's some free info there. You got to control your emotions. You know what I mean? I think Bomber can do that this go around.
Alrighty, so we're going to talk about one more match here for this show, and since he's here on the screen, we'll let him start with this one. Villain, who now is cleared. We know this, and this time, no tragedies in the world that trump the competition here. He's able to be focused. He's able to direct himself, and he's taking on AEP. Tell us what your thoughts is on getting AEP as your next opponent.
I have to first off and say this: please, no more tragedies. Like, I can't handle it. I know everybody in the locker room can't handle another tragedy. So I, if we have to sit there and bubble wrap ourselves, we must do it, because I know I can't handle it anymore. The mindset going into a match against AEP: be ready for the unexpected. Whether it's from me trying to tell the story and also being on, giving like a different shade of what the villain can bring, and who knows what the heck AEP is going to talk about. Who knows? I might try to go find that secret garden that has been talked about so many times, and we might have some fun with it. So I'm looking forward to going against him. He's another one of those competitors I've watched since coming here to HSP, and he's grown so much, and he's good. It's not going to be an easy fight. I know I've said that, like, Sergeant Havoc's going to have to bring his all against his opponent when he goes against Shady. Blackheart's going to have to bring everything. I'm going to have to bring everything to go against AEP, because AEP's been doing this as of late. I'm starting to pick my feet back up under me and start trying to get back to the grindstone, and trying to get back into constantly being able to give promos day in and day out. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope he's ready for what I'm going to bring, because I'm not going to give him any ounce of any ounce ahead of time what I'm bringing.
All right, and boss, you've had a kind of a professional rivalry dislike with AEP, but I know many times you've also commented on how he's improving. So I want your thoughts on AEP versus the villain.
Man, fuck AEP. That was for you. Villain versus AEP. I'm gonna sit here and say this. Villain, if you don't find a way to whoop AEP's monkey looking ass, I don't know what to do with you. Because, I mean, even though he's improving, that means you got to step your game up because you don't ever want to be labeled as lower than AEP. That's like saying you going into a match and losing a black art. Oh wait, there's only one person that I done seen comment or that's on screen that didn't have that happen to him. Hi, Johnny Blade. Punk ass.
All righty. So Shady, Villain versus AEP.
I think Villain may have a little rust. He definitely doesn't need to wear his emotions on his sleeves. He needs to, come out swinging, in my opinion, because last week I liked what Jacob Black brought, but I do feel a little bit of AEP getting robbed a little bit at the same time. It's tough. It's tough sometimes to sit in the back as a competitor and watch certain things play out, but at the same time to understand it.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing where you say you're trying to adjust yourself for the judges. Because that's what I did.
Yeah. It's to me in this match right now, it's 50-50.
All right. Mama Purge agrees with you guys that AEP had the best promo and he got robbed.
You won't even sit here and see me say otherwise. I like I said it that night. I'm gonna say it right now. To me he had probably one of the best promos of the night, and somehow, obviously, the judges just didn't think that it was it's gone his way.
If you looked at the two competitors that night, Jacob Black would have won. I see what everybody's saying on that, but as far as aggressiveness, Jacob Black had more of it and had more fight to give.
We'll find out. So, Dr. Quack, I want to get your thoughts on this one. And I want this to be. I know you and the Villain tend to have another professional rivalry here, even though you've mellowed in your older age. But your thoughts, because I've always been a big AEP fan, and so what's your thoughts?
Okay.
Yes, I'm stirring the pot. Let me get my spoon here.
No, I'm not stirring the pot. I'm coming straight hard hitting.
I'm stirring the pot.
I just watched AEP over in a match on Wild 'N Out Wednesday. He took on Joey Ramboa for the Talk Your Shit Championship. You know, that man holds that title over in the BWO. That match there, I'm telling you, he has improved beyond measures. This is something that if Villain comes out here and eats Chinese food during a promo, that's not going to cut it. You have got to come at him, Villain. You can't just go half-ass this shit. This is not something that does not need to happen. You know, AEP is on the rise, and I'm telling you, he is going to win a title here in HSP somewhere in the next 6 months. I can see this.
Yeah,
he's had opportunities before, but he has gotten better.
Yep, Pringles.
You don't see me disagree with anything that any of them have said. I know I have to come out there, and I saw Mama Purge made a comment, Villain can cut a proper promo. You will see. He's not going to have the same courtesy that I gave Mama Purge, where it wasn't my best effort. That was personal life took over. He's going to get a different side of the Villain that the only other person that has probably seen it in the HSP is Mr. Carter Diamond up there.
We want to see you take that personal life stuff though, and flip it and give it to us. You know what I'm saying? Like you do that, and it's 100% your direction. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, let's welcome somebody.
You'll have a good shot on winning this.
I want to get this gentleman's opinion as well, and I'm sure he's got something to say about just about everybody because he loves to compete. He's a former Soulfire champion, Please welcome him to the show, Johnny Blade. I want to put this up here first.
Right. No,
I want you to
Mayhem,
talk about
okay.
AEP and the villain, and then I want to put this up here on the screen. So what's your thoughts? AEP versus the villain.
Well, I came here. Well, if you want me to be honest with you, I don't care about AEP or the villain. I came here because I heard Boss use my name. He can't keep my name out of his mouth, it seems. Is 2-0 not enough for you? Maybe we should do 3-0?
I mean, that's a
Huh, Boss?
point you to one by.
Why don't you eat your chips, eat your Pringles, or whatever you're eating, lay in your bed. I want you to lay in your bed next week and watch me.
Johnny. After I'm done taking care of AEP, I would love to be able to go against you one more time and pretty much get back on that radar that you have, because I'm more of a competitor than pretty much you're letting out to be. So
okay, I mean, I don't mind going 2-0 against everybody here in HSP, so that's fine, villain.
All right.
This is the one that made me that I wanted to get your thoughts on.
But AEP versus against who? Villain?
Yes.
I mean, if AEP cuts a promo like last week, then AEP's gonna win.
So I want your thoughts on this one. I don't know if you posted this or not. Shady versus Blade. Silence.
Yeah, well, apparently my new name is Facebook User, so I expect everybody to call me Mr. User from now on.
User.
So
User.
Yeah. Shady, I would love to have a one-on-one match with you, baby. Me and you one-on-one. I mean, we would tear the house down anytime.
Yeah.
Somebody sign that. Who's the matchmaker around here?
Oh, did he say his name was Loser?
He's been on vacation. That's Rich Man. He's been on vacation.
Hey, boss, in 2 weeks, or is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, lay in your little bed there and watch me get that Soulfire title back. 2-time champ.
Wow.
2-0 against
because
Boss.
of the tragedy, we did have to move some matches around. So instead of Johnny Blade getting his shot on the 4th of April, it will be on the 18th. It will be the main event for our April 18th show.
Good things come to those who wait. It's very tragic what happened to Young Gun. My thoughts are with him, but I'm going to win this Soulfire title and make him proud because, he loved the Soulfire division. I do know that. And I know he wanted to face me. He said it numerous times. Unfortunately, that won't happen. But I tell you what, me and Heathen Part 2, you don't want to miss that. Me and Shady eventually, you don't want to miss that. Me beating Villain again and go 2-0 against him, you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss me going 3-0 against Boss. Come on, put me against anybody.
Hey, you know what? With all your dreams and everything that you're saying, one thing that you haven't said is that during all this time, during both your title reigns, or your first title reign and your imaginary second title reign, the Boss is still the tag team champion. So I didn't the hell go through your first reign. I'm still currently the champ, and I'm gonna hold it through your second reign.
Title defenses have you had in this reign? One?
Hey, it ain't my fault the tag team division keep fumbling and stumbling and bumbling.
I mean, look, I know I love the bloodline. We are the one.
Me and A-List been ready for whatever.
How many people won the Soulfire title twice?
Highway Hellraisers, but where they at?
Zero. Nobody has.
Where they at?
The answer, Johnny Blade, is nobody is a 2-time Soulfire champion.
I'll see you.
Correct. Nobody is.
I mean, Quack, you want to find a tag partner?
No, I'm retired, sir. I'm now a correspondent.
Can I say something?
Whoop your ass too.
I tell you what, Mr. Mayhem signed me against Boss at A-List. I've already beat them both. So I tell you what, Johnny Blade, the next tag team champion. I don't need a partner. I'm enough for 2 people. I'm big enough to be 2 people.
So
I could be the next tag team champion. I'm going to use my golden ticket. Can I use my golden ticket for the tag title?
Do I get the Soulfire title?
You idiot. You shut up.
Oh, see, he didn't want to hear that.
Well, Shady, you're already a tag partner with Vagabond. I saw you.
I got free contracts, man. I got some contracts for days, baby.
Well, we'll see what does come out of this, but it's time to take it now into the final shots, where you get to talk about, in the honor of Young Gun, anything that's on your mind. Shoot away. the Bossellini. Go ahead.
Well,
Ladies first.
you know what goes first? Your turn, reigning, defending. Watch this. I wasn't gonna say tag team, but champion of champions. Oh yeah, that's still me. Oh, and you know what? One of the people that was in that match that I beat on to become champion of champions. Hi, Shady.
You know you're only champion of champions because I wasn't in that, right?
Oh damn! So you said you would beat Shady, huh?
Why not? Why not be confident? Don't be trying to instigate shit between me and Shady.
I mean, I'm not
This is
instigating
about me and you right now.
because I beat Shady in order to win the champion of champions. So
Oh,
I'm
go
just
ahead.
saying what's true.
Hey man, the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while. Blackheart beat me.
Last time you did this, you backpedaled so much that it was funny. I thought the bike, I didn't know the bike had a reverse. But that's what you made it look like. You was definitely backpedaling. You know, and all it came to was my homeboy, rest in peace. It was a young gunner. Every time I brought his name up, you backpedal.
I've been on record saying I wanted to face Young Gun, so you can say that all you want.
See, I didn't say nothing about you being on record saying you wanted to.
So what are you saying? What are you saying? You're speaking nonsense.
No, I'm speaking facts.
Okay,
That's what you don't like.
Let me tell you some facts, you moron. I beat you 2 times, and I'm 2-0 against you. I beat your buddy A-List once. I beat Mr. Wallace. Who else in the cartel have I not beat? I beat Purge. Is he part of the cartel?
Wow, you didn't beat all these people.
So who else? Rich Man is next. Get Rich Man a match with me. You want to know
the one thing about most? Here's the difference. All those names you named. Watch this. A-List, one half of the tag team champions. Bossellini, the other half of the tag team champions. Mr. Wallace, make sure you say the Mr. The Pure Heart champion. And Purge, the #1 contender to the Pure Heart championship. You notice what I said? All that was all draped in gold for the cartel. And
which makes it even better that I beat champions. That's great. You're right. I beat a bunch of champions.
But the thing is, did you beat them when they were champions?
I don't know. Were you tag champs when I beat you? Yeah.
And I'm still tag champion.
That's right, because the titles weren't on the line. I could beat you for any title if you put it. Look, man, just keep talking. Fact is, I'm better than you.
Oh,
period.
You're better than me. You're right.
All right, so finish your shot.
I've already said my final shots because I've interrupted both.
You lost your title to somebody I whooped. And I'll do it again. So here's the thing. Go win the Soulfire title. I'll cash in my golden ticket. And then I'll take the title from you. Damn.
Don't you ever threaten me like that. Who do you think you are?
That's the bottom line, because the boss just said so. Fuck you.
Son of a
right, so
you no good.
Let's move this forward. Dr. Quack, your shot. We'll come to you, Johnny Blake, give you a chance to get back.
All right, well, let me get my final shot here. I think this is going to be an interesting show here coming up. I definitely am looking forward to that tag team match. That is going to be something worth watching highly. I'm going Edge Cartel here. I think A-List and Boss have more continuity on it. That's a big one. But the big thing I want to give my final shot to is coming up tomorrow. I have an interview with Big Country. We'll be talking about his professional wrestling career. And on Sunday, 7-year anniversary for me in the House Calls, we will be talking top 10 promo feds and shows. Check it out at noon Eastern.
All right. John, final shot.
Well, I guess my final shot's just going to be this. I'm okay with people underestimating me. So I'm to the point where I'm just now going to let my promo do the talking for me. Johnny Blade, I've already said I want to go against you again. I used that last one. I'll even admit, last one, I was out of my depth on that one. I know what to do now.
All righty. Shady, final shot. Shady,
Talking
final shot.
me? Oh, Huh. Oh boy. I'm looking forward to my matchup this week. I truly am. There's going to be a lot of aggression taken out this week from a lot of individuals, and me personally, I'm going to love it. Because when that happens, you get something out of competitors that you don't normally get, and there are a lot of people that are great at what they do in this business and in this game. However, some of us do call it a business for a reason, because it is a business to some of us. You can take that for however you want to take it. But I mean business this week. I'm not coming to play a game with Sergeant Havoc, so you better watch out.
All righty, Johnny Blade, final shot.
I love seeing the serious Shady, man. Shady, one of these days we're going to have to blaze up together. As far as my final shot, but remember the Fallen shaping up to be a really good show. I think we're going to have new tag team champions. Listen up, boss. New tag team champions. You know what? And I think Purge could pull off the upset. But, you know, who am I to? You didn't speak on that match. You didn't speak on that. I guess you're waiting until next week.
Next week, yes.
You want to skip mine. You know, you skip his match like you skip mine all the time. But that's all fine and good. But I tell you what, on April the 18th, Mayhem, do you know what's going to happen? What's going to happen on April 18th to Heathen is going to be the same thing that happened to you in your wrestling debut against me. A loss. And I'll be the new Soulfire champion. Thank you very much.
All righty. So thank you, everybody. And I'm going to take the shameless plug time because Dr. Quack has left. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Myself and the arbitrator, Jordan Drake, have put together a Dream Mania 40. We're going to talk about matches that have never happened before that are WrestleMania worthy. So if you'd like to join in the conversation, it'll be right here, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you do your history because names like Tom Jenkins are going to appear in some of these matches. Gentlemen, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Buy Young Gun shirt.